last week, the NCAA enacted the Rich Paul rule, which was dubbed by the great King James. Basically stating that all agents need to have a bachelor's degree and then also pass a written examination. And then also you have to pay a $250 application fee and a $1,250 certification fee. So what do you guys think about this? These new rules enacted by the NCAA?
Go ahead, Ariane. You got it.
NCAA.
What I think about these, I think that these rules are just a classic example of when the powers that be feel threatened by those who aren't supposed to be in a position to threaten. That's when they want to try to play hardball and try to, use their muscle. Shout out to Rich Paul for all that he's done and all that he's doing to break barriers and set precedents for young black men such as myself. And I know that a lot of you guys where we may have not viewed ourselves as those in positions to do what he's done. As far as the Rich Paul rules that they've implemented, are you saying that because he doesn't have a bachelor's degree, he's not able to perform and do what he's doing? This written exam is going to allow him to be better at what he's doing. I think it's garbage. I think it's completely unnecessary. But again, I think it's one of those things where, it's a classic example of when they feel threatened, what they try to do. I personally believe it's racist, and I don't like it. But I think at the end, Rich Paul will prevail. And I think that, it's not going to stop whatever he's designed to do. And, I just always look at it like, how do you try to implement a qualification on someone who's already doing what they're doing? It's like, successfully. It's like just because you have a bachelor's degree does not mean that you can necessarily. I have a bachelor's degree, and I probably can't do what Rich Paul is doing right now. He has the knowledge. He's been doing it. The experience. It's like, I could have gone to Harvard School of Law. It doesn't mean I'm gonna come out as a lawyer. But I'm saying, I don't believe that the certification or what they're trying to implement, it's obvious that it doesn't, it's not going to qualify you to be able to do what you're doing. So why implement it? It has to be a bigger picture, and I think they feel threatened as far as what he's doing. They're trying to protect their brand and their players, and I put quotations around it, but it's a money thing. They don't want their players being influenced by someone who's looking out in the best interest of the player.
More hypocrisy by the NCAA.
Absolutely.
There's so many examples over the last 10 to 15 years of their hypocrisy, and they're just being completely out of touch with reality. And one name that doesn't get mentioned enough along with the NCAA, because when you talk about bad leadership, man, Mark Emmert personifies bad leadership. He is the poster child for bad leadership. And I can't speak enough to how is it that you don't really give a damn if your players get degrees? You don't really care if your players are getting bachelor's degrees, but you want your agents to have degrees? Somebody explain that to me. Like, somebody logically explain that to me. And just more just to kind of echo what Ariane said, like, the timing of this just couldn't be more laughable. You have the most visible college athlete, and who we haven't seen this. We haven't seen Zion Williamson in a long time, and he's associated with a black male who is successfully running his own agency. Really, like, the timing again, man. The timing is laughable, and
well. I'll say this. A couple of months ago, we actually had a conversation about whether or not we believe some of these athletes should start going to HBCUs. And Rodney and Jamal, you guys more so, you guys didn't want to push it because with HBCUs not having the cloud of some of these Power 5 conferences, they may not get the exposure needed to be drafted. And, my stance was, if you're good, they're going to see you. And I want to bring the case to you guys of a Darius Baisley, and I don't know if that name resonates with any of you guys.
It rings a bell.
Darius Baisley 2 years ago was actually committed to the University of Syracuse, and he was a unanimous 5-star athlete, and then a 5-star basketball player. He decommitted from Syracuse, and he committed to the G League. He was going to play in the G League for 1 year, and then he was going to enter his name into the draft. Well, he actually pulled his name out of the G League and just spent the entire year training. So he didn't play basketball at college. He didn't go to the G League. He didn't go overseas. He trained himself. And this year in the NBA draft, he signed with Rich Paul. And this year, he was drafted in the first round, and he went 23rd overall. And so Rich Paul just showed everyone that, hey, you don't have to go to college, and you still can get drafted. And just to add to this kid also, he was the same one that Rich Show was able to get him an intern at, I want to say
in Australia, right?
No, New Balance.
New Balance. He got like a 3-month internship at New Balance and didn't go to school, any of that. So I think that particular case is what caused the NCAA to do what they did to keep him away. And to add to what Rodney said, opening up this segment, I think you also have to have like a 3 years worth of experience with. Is it the NBA PA?
The NBA PA.
Is the NBA PA? You got to have 3 years. So it's directly targeting Rich. And what's going to have to happen, unfortunately, because he doesn't make the rules, he's going to have to go through and he's going to have to do all of that stuff. And then when he comes back, he's extra. He continues to be successful. They're just going to put more blocks in his way.
Yeah,
and that's all it is.
Put more blocks in his way.
Definitely it is.
And kind of touch on the whole HBCU thing. As someone who went to an HBCU myself, Clark Atlanta University, shout out.
Shout out to Clark Atlanta.
This is something that I had a conversation with one of my friends about this about 10 years ago. And the conversation when I talked about black athletes committing to HBCUs at the time seemed like, how dare you say that? Like, the athlete wouldn't succeed or wouldn't excel if they did that. And my whole argument at the time was like, it has to take a sacrifice. It's gonna have to take certain players and athletes to say, look, this is what we're gonna do, and eventually, because we're the more dominant athlete, eventually you'll get that exposure. And I think now more so than ever, with all of these social media platforms being able to capture outstanding athletes. Like Zion Williamson, I was filming him when he was playing for Spartanburg. In high school. You know what I'm saying? So, and that wasn't and millions of views on social media media platforms. So, and I'm sure that's how, Coach K found out about this guy. I mean, obviously, he's a top recruit, but so if you can find out about a top caliber athlete through social media on their high school, I mean, it doesn't matter what school they go to.
And not even that, but there's so many other examples of athletes going to HBCUs or Division III schools that got found. Like Steve McNair is like the main example I like to use.
Jerry Rice.
Devin George, he played for the Lakers. I don't know if it was an HBCU you went to, but he played for like a D3 school. So it just proves the point that if you're good, you will get found somewhere. You don't necessarily need Power 5 school to.
Can y'all imagine like a Fab 5 type combo going to an HBCU?
That'd be dope.
Because when you look at a lot of schools, especially like Duke, those kids just don't randomly pop up there. They hit each other up outside. It's like, hey, do y'all want to go to school together? Do y'all want to make this 1 year run at a title? So just imagine Zion texting Tatum or whoever and all those guys and say, hey, y'all, let's pick this small school and let's go there and let's just wild out for you.
But you know what's crazy? What I think, though? I think if that was to happen, the white athletes would want to come over to the HBCUs as well.
You think so?
Absolutely, because you want to play with the best.
Think so?
You want to play with the best. If you're, think about the Duke roster outside of the starting 5 right now, right? And they know they stand no chance against. They're going to want to play with it. You're going to want to play with the best. You're going to want to play with the best, the most superior athletes, and I definitely think they'll start migrating over. Athletes, for sure.
Yeah.
Athletes, for sure, would definitely start migrating over to those schools. Definitely.
Nobody going to take care of us like us. Tell them, man.
I mean, look at Clemson. Look at the Clemson football team. They have their quarterback, but 99% of their roster.
Yeah.
Right? I'm saying, don't look like, and who you can throw the ball to.
Yeah.
Right, so
championship ring.
Just got him.
But you know what? Since we're kind of bleeding over into that, I want to say make one affirmation about Clemson football.
What's that?
I love their team, and I hope they can stay dominant for years to come. Simply because I hate Alabama football. That's the only reason. But I cannot stand for the life of me Clemson's fan base. I cannot stand. Rodney, you're cool. You're my brother. You need something, I got you.
Clemson has the largest alumni chapter in the United States of America, IPTE.
Yep.
That's
I pay 10 a year.
That's the largest alumni. Like
That's fine, but all that is wonderful. But why are y'all so damn obnoxious, man? That's the real question,
look.
Rodney.
Hey man, when you got out the mud,
Yeah, after how many years?
Yeah,
man, don't worry
Yeah.
about it, man. Look, we got championships in the 80s.
Yeah.
We're good, man.
No, okay.
We're back, man.
Yeah,
Well,
y'all
What's
back.
up with Florida State? Y'all winning this year? How many games? 6, 5, 4,
We're not talking about Florida
3,
State right now.
2, 1.
So moving on to the next.
All right, yeah.